Yeah, so the theme really about AI eating API. Obviously, AI is the buzz. Everyone's talking about AI and how we can AI enable our businesses. But the reality being is AIs leverage APIs. So the APIs are the route into AI enabling it. And so let's not forget about API security is the narrative.
Yeah, that's the narrative. But in 2011, Marc Andreessen said software is eating the world,
Yep.
And in 2018, I think it was one of the speakers of Apidays. I loved it. He said, yes, software is eating the world, but APIs are eating software. 2018, right? 2018. And now AI is eating APIs, we're eating software, right?
Exactly, right? It's the pyramid of the food chain, right? There's always one.
Yeah, that's the food chain, right? There is always who will eat AI? I don't know. But so that's an important point. And do you consider it just AI or Gen AI?
Bit of both. I mean, obviously AI as a topic's been around for ages. Gen AI and agentic agents is what's trending. So yeah, we talk about both, but obviously, Gen AI is what's turbocharging things at the moment, right?
So just one question, maybe where they're saying it, but so APIs are often one of the main vector of attacks, because
Correct.
they are open at least to someone. So that's an entry door. With AI, is it different type of attacks? Does it add the surface attack, or how does that change?
Yeah, good question. So going back to your pyramid analogy, there's different type of attack vectors. So there's the OWASP top 10 for LLM that came out last year, refreshed this year. I'll hopefully talk about it a little bit. And so while there's different attack vectors, a lot of them still manipulate the underlying or previous attack vectors as well, right? So it's like this cascading effect.
Okay, so it's cascading, right? So it's more AI, more problems.
Exactly. More solutions, more problems, right? It's always two sides to the same coin. So there's plus and minus.
And it's funny. Who know OWASP? The organization OWASP. Okay, and so we used to have the OWASP API. Fine, there is OWASP on many things, but the OWASP API security top 10.
Before that was application.
Yeah, application first,
yeah.
Right? Application, and then API security, and now LLM security. And I don't know if you've read the top 10, at least API security and LLM security, but there is not so much overlap, right? It's really adding,
Yeah.
There's one, I think, that is a kind of same.
It sometimes is called a little bit different, but some of the principles are the same. Same with application to API, stuff like, SQL injections. Same moving forward to LLM, prompt injections, right? Same, sort of, but a bit different.
Yeah, it's true that prompt injection or SQL injection or whatever, injecting has always been a part of the of the issue. Credential leaking.
Yep.
I think it's called the same in both. There's credential leaking.
Excessive data exposure.
Yeah, excessive data exposure and stuff like that. So maybe we'll have the opportunity to see you there. And just to understand also what's going on, because sometimes we prepare, everything works. A cable has been cut, so there is a physical attack, right, on the network.
Who done it?
Yeah, who done it? No, it was let's say not on purpose, but let's say so. This is why we're replacing the wires, right? Because at the end, the cloud is someone else's computer. Internet is a physical network. Sometimes we forget all that stuff, right?
Yeah, we certainly do. I mean, I started life in telco networking way back in Africa, and I've got pictures of me climbing up masts with radar beaming and all sorts of things like that. So when stuff goes wrong, I often go back to physical first and then work my way up the stack.
Yeah, 7 layers or whatever. So just a question here: who has, let's say, Gen AI application in production for customers here? Okay, really few people. Okay, few. Do you work in large corp or no?
SaaS product.
Yeah, SaaS product. Okay, and you work in a large corp or no? Small? No, so you can take risks. That's fine. Okay, who has Gen AI application in production internally, just for employees or stuff like that, for HR, whatever. Okay, what type of company you work in? if I may, like a bank or is it a large corp? Technology service company, like a large one? Okay, large one. Okay, good. And so who has proof of concepts of Gen AI applications in their organizations? Okay, some. Okay. Who doesn't have any? Okay, who's listening? okay,
exactly.
No, because sometimes it's true. Because of security, we've seen a big shift. We've seen an important shift. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But we let developers and we let product managers and digital agencies, internal, like to try, with long chain, long graphs, whatever, put a RAG somewhere and do the POC, right? But when it goes to production time, CIO, CISO, data protection officers, they come and say, whoa, what is going on here? So this is where prime time is really hard because of at least security is important in that aspect. Do you see that this shift between POC and production?
Oh, definitely. I think I actually removed it from this slide because I think I've overplayed it. But it was interesting you doing that poll around who's got AI in a business function. And it was one of the big consultancies. It was an extract from them. And they've got this adoption curve. And so it was initially quite high, which is symbolic of what you were saying around experimentation. We're doing something somewhere. And then there's this massive drop-off of AI projects where governance comes in and they're like, nope, we're squashing that. And what we see now is kind of the uptake of AI projects getting into prime time. And this report kind of implied, I think it was ridiculous, like 70% of organizations have at least one business function that's AI enabled. So it kind of contradicts a little bit what your Snap poll did, which is good. You can't always believe what you hear from the big consultancies. I used to work for one. So and what was interesting in that same report, I think, was fast forward from sort of 2018, 2019, when that experimentation was first happening, to apparently now there's 16 or 70% are meant to be having 5 or 6 business units that are AI enabled. But 100% security is front and center for a lot of those conversations. We talk about excessive agency. For Gen AI to be useful, it needs access to useful data, which is normally our data. So, we want to make sure that's as secure as possible.
So the best, I think, someone who really coined the term for me, someone who said like, there is AI for fun and AI for run. And this is the AI for fun and then, AI for run. Really few projects there. So does someone here maybe has a story about AI for fun versus AI for run discussion internally? Someone who want to share something anonymously, right? You don't need to name the company. You don't need to name yourself. You don't need to be there. You wanna say something or no? Okay, no, you're just scratching the nose, right?
It's like that silent auction.
Actually, I have one. Sure. I have one. It was a French company, but they did the POC 3 months. It was really working well with HR data, but it took them 18 months to go in production when governance, data protection, and security came, and they have to redo everything because they were using long chain. So for security was not there, performance was not there, so they had to really change everything. So that's one example where the AI for run and AI for fun are really, really different. Do you have an example of?
Today is an example, right? I've played with AI for fun. I was hoping to demo it to you today.
It will work. It will work.
But doing something for fun and for a presentation, I enable cores, I disable authentication, just get it up and running and have a play with it. There's no way anything like what I was doing today would ever make it anywhere near production, right?
Are you presenting also about poisoning attack, what we call poisoning?
I was, from an API perspective, and that's kind of the linkage that, even though people are running around deploying MCP servers really easily to front AI, to AI-enable APIs, ultimately it's the APIs that transport the data. So I was going to have a little play around using simple developer inspector tools, nothing fancy, try and uncover a few dodgy APIs and launch a WASP attack against them.
Okay, so like WASP attack and OWASP attack, right?
No, exactly. I mean, while I've got the mic, we're over at booth 17. There's a QR code where you can sign up to come and do a capture the flag. So, hour and a half of discovering attacking APIs. On the flip side, how we can prevent, detect at runtime, well, discover, then protect at runtime, but also help developers produce more secure code. Even more so now that we're going to be using agentic AI and generative AI to help us with coding, we need to make sure we're running robust security around that as well, right? So dynamic API security testing, let's try and fuzz it, let's try and break it before it gets into production. So sign up on the QR code.
Yeah, okay, but how would you define maybe poisoning attack for people? Poisoning attack, how would you define that just for people?
Sorry, I misheard. So partially ruptured eardrum in the French accent. I think it's not working so well.
I'm really trying hard to hide my French accent, you know. I've lived 7 years in the US to not... No. You got it.
Poisoning attack.
Poisoning.
So no, I won't be doing one of those today.
Okay. Prompt injection?
Yes, we were going to do a prompt injection. I was going to throw data leakage. So prompt injection, data leakage were the two attacks I was going to try and do from a Gen AI perspective. And a bowler and range violation from an API security perspective.
One I found it kind of funny is that do you remember in 2000s, you know, when people wanted to hack search engines, they were writing white text on white background, so the search engine was indexing the content, right? But the user were not seeing it unless you select and you see, oh, there's text actually, right? And so some people are trying to do that, you know, to hide text in many places on websites or in PDFs. They write, you know, different layers to actually, because LLM reads everything, right? They don't care about your interface or your UI, right? Correct. So yeah, some people are trying to add more text, more instructions, you know, to or sometimes to replace a product. Or there are a lot of stuff.
Creative ways. I read a story recently about. Obviously, a lot of use with generative AI and ChatGPTs and etc. for writing your resumes, and some recruiters are deliberately writing a couple of like kind of embedded prompts in the job description, so people cut and paste it, and then you can very quickly see who's been leveraging Gen AI to write the CV in response.
That's smart, you know. Like that reminds me, you know, when like fingerprinting, you know.
Yep.
When you send an email to every employees and actually you fingerprint every email, you know, so when someone gives that to a journalist, you know who is the guy or who is the girl, right? You know, don't do that. But some people are doing that, right?
Wow. That's pretty invasive.
But Elon Musk, this is how Elon Musk have found, you know, for Tesla leakers, data leaks, or Twitter, like X data leaks, you know, he was sending an email to all employees, but then he takes the screenshot that journalists have and he looks at the commas and the white space, and actually it's fingerprinted for each employee. So never leak companies' data, right? Never leaks companies' data, whatever. So it seems, I don't know where guys are we on the solving solution? Are we still on it? Okay, like we have the status page. We should have a status page about, like, you know, how it's currently be solved. You know,
a little progress bar.
Yeah, progress bar. 0%. Okay. So if it's not solved in the next few minutes, what we will do is that we will try to find a way to have another workshop today or tomorrow, and so you will be able to do it again, right?
Sure.
We will also send an email to all people who may have missed it. Yeah. So if you can't attend tomorrow, at least you will be able to have a video of it, right? By signing up.
Sure.
So we'll wait a few more minutes, and then there will be a hack, like a social hack, because there will be a lot of people waiting for food. So if the workshop does not happen, you will be able to provision and be early in the queue, right?
So you've just sabotaged it. Now if it does work, everyone's going to be thinking, I could get out of here, man.
I'm trying to find advantages of the situation, you know, just to say there are two good options, right?
Yeah, yep, I get you.
Because then the other option is that if the workshop is there, you can go over time, because then there will be no queue, because it will be, you know, but maybe no food. You know, so, okay, now that's hard. Okay, last attempt, right? How do you say it? Drum, like.
It is funny, you know, the conference, a lot of it's dominated by AI, and as you were talking about, some of it's scuppered by an HDMI cable, right?
I was interviewing an like an infrastructure provider.
Yeah.
Who tasked me, and I will ask you the question, like, to your mind. So electricity outage is one of the main reasons of system being down, especially in data centers, right? You know, electricity outage, they have backups and everything. To your mind, what is the first cause of electricity outage in data centers? Oh, sorry?
Aircon.
Aircon leaking? Okay, so this is not the one I have, but that's one of the top 3, but it's not the first I know. So I will keep my data as the source, but we'll check. Water. So water leaking. So it's the same, aircon, water leaking. You know, I think it's the third or the second, but the first one. I will give you a hint. It's the succession of the bug. Are you familiar with what we call bugs? Bugs, right? You know, because bugs actually were. Sorry? Yeah, literal insect. They were literal insect walking into the imprinted circuits, right, and doing shortcuts, right? You know, so circuit breakers and everything. So it's the 2000 version of the bug. So data centers, they're in the nature. Most of the time, they are in the remote areas. Okay. It starts with an S, with a SQ. Squirrels. 40% of electricity outage come from squirrels eating the cables. You know, you can check online right now on Google, not on ChatGPT, so you have a real source. You can check actually 40% of electricity outage are caused by squirrels. And water is I think number 2 and number 3, right? But just so this is why we're saying sometimes you can't imagine the attacks. You can't imagine where it comes from, you know. Yeah. So and sometimes you design a system to protect from nuclear weapons, and actually just an army of squirrels comes. You know, for French, the word squirrel is one of the most difficult to pronounce. Yeah. Just to let you know, right? Squirrel.
You did it very good justice.
Yeah, I tried. I worked my squirrel thing. Just for the story about the French accent, because you talk about it. 10 years ago, the first conference, Telstra was a sponsor. And Telstra was having Heart. Yeah. It was Telstra Heart APIs, right? With a French accent, I said Telstra Hurt APIs. And a lot of people laughed in the room. So, because 10 years ago it was I don't know, people find it was true, but now it's different. But yeah, so French accent.
Well, as you can tell, I don't have an Aussie accent either. So I'm from deepest, darkest Africa, a little place called Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe? Okay.
Yeah, so try to get rid of it. Likewise, by going to Europe for a little while, but after a few beers and a barbecue, it definitely comes out again.
Yeah, yeah. Your ear believes you have an Aussie accent, right?
Exactly.
Okay, last attempt, last turnover, and then after we will postpone the session. So we have wires, like signal can't escape, right?
What's the next thing they'll add for OWASP?
Oh, good question. It's going to be quantum, right? That's the next thing that's coming.
But before quantum, because that's another 20 years away.
Well, not if you believe some of the hype I've been chatting to. They haven't been serving drinks, but some people reckon 2030 it's going to be here, right? So, yeah, that's my reaction. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I've got teenage kids and talking about careers and what they're going to do, and you're kind of like, mate, I don't know. Become a house builder, but I saw there's some robotic bricklayer that's, you know, building houses and printing houses, and I don't know. It's amazing to see all this new technology and innovation come in, but at the same time, you know, as a parent with younger kids, it's quite concerning. You know? Tell them just to learn bushcraft and go and buy a homestead somewhere. Yep. Exactly, quantum safe cyber, right? You know, as far as I got, and that angle was reading Schrodinger's cat. Anyone read that? I stopped after the first chapter. It's like hurt my brain.
So may I try to answer that question? So for me, I will call it a teaching attack. Teaching attack. I will tell you why. There is a new recent, let's say, research who talk about liquid LLMs. Are you familiar with liquid LLMs? So now LLMs are trained or pre-trained, trained, and fine-tuned, right? They are trained, and sometimes we give them context, but they are trained. All the parameters are set up unless the next training. Liquid LLMs are new research that actually train the LLM at every response. So every time, at every evaluation and every positive or negative feedback, you retrain the model immediately, right? Called liquid LLMs because it's liquid, right? And so some researchers talk about teaching attacks, because if liquid LLMs go in production, you will be able to, like a DDoS, but for teaching. A lot of people in the same time coordinated will give the same feedbacks to actually make the LLM change parameters in a hard way. So teaching attacks, right? So that would be the one I would add into the thing. Yeah. Teaching attacks.
It's like the poisoning type of
it's
thing,
like
right?
poisoning, but it's about the training.
Yeah.
It's not about the...
but no, on that topic, we've seen a rise in SLMs. Everyone's talking about LLMs.
SLMs, yeah.
So SLMs.
SLMs like small language
models, that are trained on specific business function or lawyers, medical. So yes, you've got your foundational models, but you've also got your SLMs. And then something that we announced last night, so a little plug while I'm up here. We've partnered with NVIDIA to push GPUs to the edge. So Akamai's got distributed network of huge amount of applications throughout the world, and now being able to do AI inferencing, right at the edge, as opposed to having to backhaul it to data centers. So that's a pretty interesting space.
That's one. There's model extraction. I don't know if it's currently in OWASP. Model extraction.
I haven't seen it, but
model extraction is like when you have an LLM that on the edge AI on a device. Actually, the model is closed source, but some people are able to retro-engineer and hack the device to actually get the LLM, from the device. So that's what we call LLM extraction. Yeah. There is a company called SkyID who protects company from model extraction when you put on devices. But that's I don't know if it's currently in this one, but if it's not, I would bet on this one.
Yeah, I mean, the OS for LLMs changing quickly, right? Year on year.
It's still a draft, no? It's still kind of a draft or
2014, 2014. Decade out, 2024 and 2025, but yeah.
Wait for the thing. So I think, even if it works, we may have some fun for a demo, but we'll check with the program team, which is me and Orion, to find another 15-minute spot, whatever. So at least we can have this, because I know it's a topic that a lot of people wanted to attend, right? So, okay. So now we have time for the food, right? It's early, and then please stay tuned on the program and even on emails. So we will see how we can either record it or having another live session today or tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks all.
Thank you. And if you have, we can still have a discussion if you want, but.
It's on the screen now if you want to try it.
Oh, it works now. Do you want to make a 10-minute demo or something? Just to pick and select, or?
No, I think we'll probably wrap it and try and just...
Okay, we'll wrap it. But yeah, thank you for making it work and with the cables. Thank you. But we'll wrap it up. Thank you.